Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Sports Legends of the Carolinas. I'm Scott Fowler, your host, and a sports columnist for the Charlotte Observer since 1994. And today, I'm delighted to have Coach Dawn Staley here with us. And of course, Staley's 5-year-old gray and white Havanese rescue dog named Champ, who's become a star in his own right.
Winning isn't, I score more points than you. Winning is to be able to be in a space when things are stacked against you and you really don't care. Your approach is you're going to find a way.
When in doubt, go to your go-to, Dawn Staley.
We're visiting with Coach Staley in Columbia, South Carolina. Inside the USC women's basketball offices were all sorts of rare memorabilia on display, including Staley's collection of Olympic gold medals and the trophies commemorating South Carolina's national championships in 2017 and 2022. Staley, who is 52, has been the women's basketball head coach for the Gamecocks since 2008, and her teams have made the Final Four in 4 of the past 7 NCAA women's basketball tournaments.
Dawn Staley with her national championship.
God, this does not happen without him.
Before Staley made such a big impact on coaching, she grew up in Philadelphia, starred at the University of Virginia, and won 3 Olympic gold medals as a hard-nosed point guard on the U.S. national team. She would later coach that same team to a 4th gold medal. She was also a 3-time WNBA All-Star playing for the Charlotte Sting.
Staley puts it in.
But that time they go to their key player, Dawn Staley.
Dawn Staley, next on Sports Legends of the Carolinas. Welcome, Coach Staley, to the show.
Thank you, Scott. I have to say that I've always seen your little profile picture on your article, so you look very familiar. But I've known you since spending some time in Charlotte.
That's right. Well, why don't we start there? I've been there long enough, and my little 2-inch picture. I was running in the Charlotte Observer for a long time, as you mentioned, and long enough that I covered the WNBA when the Charlotte Sting was there, and you were one of their stars. I particularly remember the 2001 season where y'all went all the way to the championship game. But there was some rough moments, certainly, for that franchise, too. What do you remember about I guess it was about 6 years at the Charlotte Sting?
I only remember great times. I only remember, the friendships, the locker room talk, the dinners, the traveling, and just really enjoying the people that I was on the team with. We had an incredible relationship. We didn't take ourselves too seriously. We know each other now. We often times we reminisce. I was just on a podcast with Allison Feaster. Mm-hmm. They call her Charlie down here in the South. So we reminisced about a number of things. Charlotte Smith, she just texted me last week. I think she's putting on some type of golf tournament, so I'm gonna send her some items to support her. I just remember, and it's not a lot about basketball, but when we do talk about basketball, we do talk about starting 1-10 and then going all the way to the WNBA championship series when everybody counted us out. But during that season, we again in the locker room, it would never feel like we were like a 1-10 team. It just felt like we were going to hit our stride because we were losing probably by a basket or 2 or less, and we knew we had a great team. We just weren't getting the results that we wanted, but there was always time. We built a deficit of a 1-10 record. It only took winning 8 games to get you back in playoff contention. So we ended up winning, going 17-4 in our last 21
right.
games.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight, the Sparks hosting the Charlotte Sting here at Staples Center.
Right, went all the way through the playoffs and then played Lisa Leslie and the Sparks in the final, mm-hmm. Right? And tell me this, because I think people forget maybe how great of a player Dawn Staley was.
As far as the Charlotte Sting, the very veteran and very dangerous Dawn Staley.
Do you believe that you are a better player of basketball or a coach of basketball?
Well, since I'm a little older, I only remember the coaching. Right? So I'm probably a better coach because I would say I've always been a coach, even when I was playing. Just my position demands for me to do coaching type things, and I think I utilized my playing days to be a better coach now that I'm a coach. And I do feel like when I was a player, I only got a chance to impact and be impacted by a small group of people on a team. As a coach now, I get to impact my current players, my former players, the entire women's basketball community. So I think my impact is a little bit bigger, and my gratitude is a lot larger because I get to connect with so many different people.
On another subject, I have a nephew that just moved to Philadelphia, and he knows nothing about Philadelphia. So I said, well, I'm about to interview somebody who's from Philadelphia, and so I'm going to ask her just sort of to describe it to someone who's not been there before. And I know you've sometimes made a differentiation, I believe, in your interviews from North Philly. Sometimes you say North Philly. So what does that mean?
Tell nephew to stay away from North Philly. No, okay. I am from North. I'm from the projects of North Philly. Temple University is in North Philly. Philly is it's a blue collar town. Like, you just stay in your lane. It's the best way that I can describe it. Like, if you if you are hardworking, you're gonna love Philly. If you love great restaurants and great landmarks and walking around and different landmarks, the history of Philly is awesome. I mean, there are some tucked away places. If you love cheesesteaks, you're gonna love it. It's just Philly's a big city, so there's crime in Philly. We got it all. We got the whole spectrum of living life, and that's the good, the bad, the ugly. But if he can find a way to carve out all that's good in Philly, he's going to enjoy it. He's going to enjoy it so much that he'll probably want to stay and live there. Every like player that we got to commit to Temple and their parents, they were a little, put off by the movement of Philly. It is exciting. It is, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of things to get into. But once they settled in, they found jobs there. They live there now, and they really enjoy it.
What does it mean when you say a player is from Philly or has that Philly mentality? People, I think you've said that about yourself before. What does that mean? Yeah,
it just means that we're ones that persevere. Like, we're gonna find a way to win, and winning isn't I score more points than you. Winning is to be able to be in a space when things are stacked against you and you don't care. Like, you really don't care. Your approach is you're going to find a way, and you're going to find a way to be satisfied with whatever it's a performance. Be satisfied with the work that you put into something, and it doesn't mean the results are going to be picture perfect. It's just what you put into it, and most times Philly people are very passionate about what they give their time to. And if they give their time to something, you got all of them.
I remember it was when you were with the Sting that you then became Temple's head coach, which was remarkable. It's still, even now, speaking of hard work, and I don't understand how you did it, really. Like, how did you do that? You were Temple's head women's basketball coach and a full-time WNBA player.
I wanted to do it. I think when people want to do something, they prioritize. So, I'm not one that really has a huge social life. So the part of my social life that I would have had, I'm probably working out. My head is somewhere in the game. It's easy once you have people around you that really understand what you're trying to do. And Temple wanted to take that chance on me continuing my professional basketball career and me coaching. You know, obviously they saw something in me that I probably didn't see in myself, and that I'm probably the ultimate compartmentalizer, because you have to be. You have to be. We just hired some great people that understood it, that were able to take care of things when I was away for 4 or 5 months of the year. You know, but it's doable because it's basketball, and instead of me having to go out and go on the road to recruit the recruits, we always say, come see our coach playing in the WNBA, because ultimately that's what they wanted to do.
We'll be back right after this. Welcome back. So has your style evolved as a coach from Temple to, 15, 20 years later now? I mean, and if so, how?
Oh, my former players from Temple, they call me Charmin. Like I'm soft now.
Now you're soft?
I'm soft.
Oh, I
I'm
see.
soft.
They caught the hard part?
Yeah, they caught the hard.
Okay.
I had a lot of energy when I was 30 years old. But no, I think in any profession, you're gonna people evolve. Young people are different. Parents are different. So you got to be able to pivot. There are, the core principle of who I am as a coach is still the same. Like, it's very much the same in how I see basketball. It's just how I deal with people is a little bit different. I was more probably less censored in my younger years. I'm more censored, and I have to explain myself a lot more. I have to really understand who people are, and I have to be conscious of confidence levels, and I also have to be conscious of parents who like my parents didn't mind me failing, like, because they know there are so many life lessons packed into that. Parents nowadays, they don't want their children to fail. And it almost hurts them because they're not living in a place where everything's going to be perfect and great. Like, and I often tell my players that I love them enough to allow them to fail. And I tell them, don't measure me by how your parents love you, because I have a different type of love. I got a tough love. I got a love of I got a way of showing you love that will hopefully create longevity in basketball and in life. Because it's not going to be perfect. You're going to be challenged physically, mentally, spiritually, all those things. You're going to be challenged, and if you're not prepared to pivot and prepared to go a little bit deeper than what's on the surface, like, it's too competitive out here. It's too competitive you got to outfox people. You got to think like the game, a player 2 or 3 ahead of the game. And you got to think that way in life. And along the way, you're going to fail. Like, you're going to have a bad game. You might have a bad week. You might have a bad month. You might have a bad season. How do you come back from that? How do you continue to get up and do that? Do what you do, knowing that you're not getting the results you want. So, and you need people that have been there. Like, I've been there. I've navigated through injuries. I've navigated through losing seasons. I've navigated through all of it. And I'm a testament to it.
Survivor. Yeah.
So
you've talked about it's important to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
is what you're saying. Yeah, right.
You got to embrace it. Like, I don't like everything about my job. I don't like everything
like
about
what?
my job.
Doing this interview.
No, I don't mind doing interviews once I'm in it, because it is sharing my story. It's sharing. I know people are dealing with things that things that they don't think I'm dealing with. What don't I like about the job? I don't like recruiting, because I really haven't. Again, I'm censored, but I'm not like I can't fluff it up. Like I haven't.
You're honest. You've always been that way.
Yeah, like I can't. I'm like, I'll give you the worst case scenario, and a lot of times people don't want to hear that. They want to hear the fluff. Like what? Like at the end of my 4 years, I want to be a first round draft pick. I want to be a lottery pick. Well, I really, that's really out of my pay grade, and it's I can only help you prepare for the next level. I can't tell GMs and coaches to draft my kids, if you got the top pick. The work comes before the draft, and a lot of times, young people don't know, like, you could be drafted 20th, but you could have an incredibly long career because that team fits your style a lot better. Or you can go the number 2 pick and it's not for you. It's not your style of play, and be gone in a year or two. Starting that, and there's no way to, the money's a little different 2 to 20, but over the course of an entire career, 20 might be the 10-year career.
Right, sure.
So it's hard to say that without bursting someone's dream.
Sure.
But
right.
I got to give it to them because it could very well be what happens.
Right. The worst case scenario is I think a phrase you've used before too, that's you're just going to be authentic with people.
I don't know any other way.
Yeah.
Like I really don't know any other way. I'm a protector of my peace. So I give people, me.
Mm-hmm.
Some people like it, some people don't, but I think at the end of the day, you at least know where I'm coming from, and that's a good place to be.
Absolutely.
As a receiver.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of recruiting, I wrote a column about a month or two ago when the Charlotte Hornets were looking for a...
I read that.
You saw that? And I really believed it, and my theory was that Dawn Staley would be the perfect next coach for the Charlotte Hornets. I know you've signed an enormous deal here, 7-year deal, and I wasn't trying to lure you away. I just wanted to put that out there because I think you could do it and do a great job. But you don't recruit in the NBA, except for free agents, I guess, or the WNBA. So does the professional game interest you?
No, it never has. And I don't know why, because I'm one that, I look for the next challenge. But to me, that isn't a challenge for me. Actually, it doesn't, like never. Like even when I was playing in the WNBA, I never wanted to be Ann Donovan. I never wanted to be Trudy Lacey. I never wanted to be them, like ever. Like, my passion is for young people.
Okay.
And I would say that both leagues are getting younger and younger, but I'm getting older and older, and I more so see the light at the end of the tunnel in my career, and going to the next level from an NBA standpoint. It takes a long time to be successful. I'm not afraid of it at all. I think the root of being successful in any league is your ability to connect with the players, and I don't have an issue with that. I know basketball. I don't think basketball changes a whole lot. I think it's the people and who you connect with that. If you can bring the best out of individuals and they see it and they feel it, that's the trick. And then if everybody feels the same way, they're only gonna want to win because they're satisfied with how their career is progressing.
You've won 2 national championships here already, and in one of the Final Four interviews this year, I believe you were speaking about Connecticut, and you were like, well, I'm not going to get to 11 because I'm not going to be here that long. And then another time you said, well, I'm not going to be here when I was 68. Somebody was 68. Maybe it was Gino. But so you're
Tara's
50.
Tara's 69, I
Maybe
believe.
it was that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're 52 now. So how long do you see yourself doing it?
I don't see myself at 60.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't see myself coaching either. And now this is my 23rd year. But I mean, I'm enjoying it. Like, and I can say this and I'm enjoying it. Like I don't see myself coaching at 60. But if I get some more classes like we've had, the job is a little easier because there's certain parts of it that I don't have to deal with. Like I got great players and great people. I don't have to deal with knuckleheads. Like I don't have an issue dealing with them. But when the teams that I've had over the past couple of years, when they just want to win, they just want to be great.
A spectacular performance, and South Carolina has won the national championship.
They just want to be pros. Like, that is probably the perfect scenario for me because that's why I want to get into coaching. I want to change generations through playing the game.
I think Dawn is the most important young coach in the country. She's a high-level recruiter. She's the United States Olympic coach, somebody who's ready to raise their level and continue to roll like Dawn has done.
And the players that I have approach it that way, and it's been great. It's been great. So if our assistant coaches to get some more number one recruiting classes, I might stick around.
Thanks so much for listening to Sports Legends of the Carolinas. You've just heard the first half of our conversation, but there's much more to come.
I just thought about sharing it with other black coaches because I know their struggle and I know what hope it brought to them, and every one of them would not win a national championship. And if they can look and feel that piece of nylon, that to me is a national championship-like honor.
For that, please purchase a premium subscription to our show, exclusively on Apple Podcasts. And for video of these interviews, visit charlotteobserver.com/sportslegends.
Staley, a three. Got it. Big bucket for the Cavaliers.
I'm Scott Fowler, and this is Sports Legends of the Carolinas. This show is produced by Jeff Seiner and Kata Stevens, and the director of audio at McClatchy is Davin Coburn. For lots more content and to continue supporting this kind of work, please visit charlotteobserver.com/sportslegends and consider a digital subscription. Connect with me on Twitter at Scott_Fowler or by email at sfowler@charlotteobserver.com. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you like what you hear, please share with a friend. See you next week.